Hey, happy Monday. Welcome to a new week of practice and devotion. Um, we are in the final week of the month of Guanyin in the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple. I can hardly believe how quickly this month has gone by, and at the same time, this month has felt really, really long in other Mercury retrograde-ish ways. For those watching on the Goddess Temple app, I just wanted to say I'm seeming to notice that my recordings there are timing out after about 40 minutes. So if I go over or if I time out, you can find me on Facebook and on YouTube as well if you want to finish. And I'm sorry, I've asked them to fix it. Oh, but today, what a wonderful, wonderful form of Guanyin, and much welcomed. Guanyin of joy is today's Guanyin. Guanyin of joy. And here she is, sitting in her royal ease pose. Wearing a beautiful robe, a big necklace, a crown. Her nails are done. She's got a fantastic bracelet. Guanyin sits upon clouds in the royal pose, offering her gentle compassion and her smile. She imparts the spiritual teachings with joy and happiness. In this form, Guanyin also protects seekers who are moving toward the peak of realization. Here, Guanyin appeals to us to adopt a playful and joyful attitude. Even if we've gone far in life, experienced many falls, and had to start anew, we should, like a child who tirelessly struggles learning to walk, get up, laugh, and start all over again. On the mundane level of suffering, we are carried by Guanyin's compassion, and on the spiritual level, we can recognize life as the cosmic game it is and burst into relieved laughter. The combination of serenity and humor loosens the chains of seriousness. This is like written just for me, I feel. This combination of serenity and humor loosens the chains of seriousness and our identification with the limitations of ordinary life, and we can face our challenges with calm and ease. So here's a quote from the Lotus Sutra. All of the quotes in this book are from the Lotus Sutra, chapter 25. Suppose you are on the peak of Mount Sumeru and someone pushes you off. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and you will hang in midair like the sun. Suppose you are pursued by evil men who wish to throw you down from a diamond mountain. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and they cannot harm a hair on you. In joy and in beauty and in grace, we find restoration. Get in touch with Guanyin of joy when the serious side of life is weighing heavily on you. Let yourself be inspired by her soft, serene smile, and smile to yourself once again. In this way, you can reconnect to the lightness of being. Focus your attention on those areas in your life that are the most cheerful and effortless. Let's do that today. Today, we focus on joy. No matter what is going on, we're going to pull ourselves away from it and come back to joy. Not thinking of joy as an escape from reality. Reality is still out there. Thinking about joy as the antidote to whatever is happening in reality. So we don't need to escape it. We just need to have the medicine for it. And the joy that is arising from within us, it doesn't come from outside of us. It arises from within us when we have established proper conditions or when we have spontaneous good things happen. That joy arising is our enlightening gift to the world. Oh, I've got a joy-bringing thing right now. So Danielle says, may we please pray today for Nicola Betala for his blessings on his 44th birthday. Absolutely. For maybe it's Nicola. Nicola, for you on your 44th birthday today. Today, we're also praying for my very dear friend Ava and for Lama. It's their birthdays today as well. I do have a joy bringer. I'm going to go get this joy bringer. Give me 1 second. Hello, little joy bringer. Come here. Put this in there. Look at this little joy bringer. Look at this. Everybody who needs joy, oh, she says, so bright, maybe needs a kitten. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad to hear Danielle. Danielle says, I received my Guanyin kit this weekend, which brought me endless joy. And here's this little fluff ball, also bringing joy. She's so cute. She's such a little sweetheart. Come on, tucked in. She loves to cuddle. Yeah, she was rescued from the side of the road and it was in pretty bad shape, but she is showing really good signs of life force. She's eating well. She's going to the litter box like a big girl. She's doing so great. She's healing so well. And her little belly's getting nice and full and she's rounding out. And yesterday she did a little run across the room. So yeah, Mamacita, yes. You're doing much better. This is definitely a good reason for joy. My little mama doing much better. She's so tiny, but she's going to be so big. She's going to be a big girl. So here's our little, oh, she loves to just lay her little face in the crook of your arm and just do this with her chin. This little kitten. All right, baby girl, I'm going to put you back so I can do my chanting. She's too little to be left just like out in the room. Probably in the next week or so, I can acclimate her to be out in the room, but she just got here and I don't want her to get into anything that would hurt her. So we have to kitten-proof this room and then I'll be doing practice with Kitten for a little while. So let's revel in this little tiny joy. And that is our short bit for today. Finding and creating happiness. Good girl. A good baby. If you can't sort of think of the happiness right in front of you, conjure it. Okay, now let's do, oh, no, we're going to do our divination. So, that was just part one of the short bit. The short bit seems to be getting longer. Number 69 today. Five seasons. A plum tree stands alone on a hill of its own. Its petals drop, its branches wither, its sap falls low, and yet spring comes with all its vibrancy in spite of frost, and the beauty and the life return to the flowers. See them. That's the Man Ho Kwok translation. Now the Chris Wen Chao Li translation. Outlook is excellent. A lone plum tree on a wintry hill, stripped of foliage, but standing tall. Comes spring, and the branches begin to grow, the most ravishingly beautiful flowers of all. The arrow misses its target, yet who knows what it might hit. Come springtime, and life will bring a wealth of new offerings. The plum blossom, which perseveres through winter months, becomes the king of flowers, meaning, if you can hold off and persevere, then the outlook is promising. Okay, we're supposed to hang in there. Let's see what Stephen Karcher has to say. When spring comes and the days grow longer, the flowers bloom more and more luxuriously. All is set free at last. Whoa, that's like almost like a little Persephone reference there. All is set free at last when Persephone resurfaces. Put things to the proof, submit to the ordeal, separate wheat from chaff by divination. This is the time of the seed and the hidden pearl. Rely on the ancestors' wisdom. You have found the hidden treasure. Wait for the new season to unfold a new way of living. What can and cannot happen? Your family enjoys an extraordinary understanding with each other, and an understanding that includes your circle of friends. Business success is guaranteed. The new year will bring extraordinary profits. Find your hidden creative energy. If you wish for a significant relationship, don't delay. It will be very happy. If you are expecting a child, be careful and seek a doctor's advice. If you expect guests, they will arrive at the appointed time. Don't go to court, judgments will go against you. You are probably in the process of changing your home. This move will prove very advantageous. That also could be an upgrade, cleaning or other thing you're doing in your existing home. And sickness will soon be cured through a special medicine. I've had a feeling in my bones since winter solstice that we weren't going to see a major turning until spring equinox, but that when we did see that turning at the time of spring equinox, it would be a significant turning for the better for us all. And, I think that we can kind of sort of look at the relief that's starting to happen in the arenas of the COVID vaccinations are accelerating and cases are going down. Warm weather is going to come back. And that all of that gives us that sense of hope and possibility and promise. But I also just think that, I'm no astrologer, but I just think that some good planetary things, cosmological things might be happening after spring equinox of this year. And I do see restoration for humanity in good ways. Restoration of life force, restoration of hope, of possibility, potential, and promise. So hang in there. Be like that plum blossom on the branch, surviving through these last weeks of winter. Spring is on its way, almost here, and with it, hope. That is our short bit for today, and I'll be back, tomorrow if that's what you're here for. Otherwise, for those sticking around, let's do Guanyin practice. We'll start with 3 prostrations before the shrine. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. And today we're holding Nicola, Ava, and Lama Dechen Yeshe Wangmo. And let's recite the Four Immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. Nope, we need a new candle. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering for Guanxi, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Om Ahum. 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 Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guanyin, remain until the end of samsaric existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations of Namo Guanxi and Pusa as we are honoring Guanyin, arising within our hearts and bringing forward happiness so that we can bring that happiness into the world. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi and Pusa. Namo Guanxi and Pusa, Namo Guanxi and Pusa, Namo Guanxi and Pusa. 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 And how perfect today our Guanyin of joy crosses with our aspirational words of the first female Buddha of Tibet, Yeshe Tsogyal. Wherever there is space, 5 elements pervade. Wherever the 5 elements, the homes of living beings. Wherever living beings, karma and defilements. Wherever is defilement, my compassion also. Wherever is the need of beings, there I am to help them. To the hungry I was heaps of food and all good things, and thus I brought them joy. To the cold and freezing I was fire and sun warmth, thus their joy. To the poor and needy I was wealth and riches, thus their joy. To the naked I was every kind of raiment, thus their joy. To the childless I was sons and daughters, thus their joy. To those who sought a lover, I was a loving and attractive consort, and thus their joy. To those who wanted magic powers, I gave prowess in the 8 great cities, and thus I brought them joy. To the sick I was their remedy, and thus their joy. To the anguished I was all their mind desired, and thus I was their joy. To those hard pressed by the punishments of despots, I was the loving friend to lead them to the land of peace, and I was thus their joy. To those in fear of wild beasts, I was a haven, thus their joy. To those who fell into the depths, I was their drawing out, and thus their joy. To those tormented in the fires, I was a quenching stream, and thus their joy. To those in prey to any of the elements, I was their medicine, and thus their joy. For those who could not see, I was their eyes and brought them joy. And for those who could not walk, I was feet, and thus their joy. I was a tongue for those who could not speak, and thus I brought them joy. To those in fear of death, I granted immortality, and thus I was their joy. I led the dying on the path of transference and brought them joy. To those who wandered in the bardo state, I was their spirit guide, bringing them to joy. I cooled the burning heat and warmed the cold of those lost in the realms of hell. Howsoever they were tortured, I changed myself to shield them, being thus their joy. To those who lingered in the land of hungry ghosts, I was their food and drink, and thus their joy. I was freedom from oppression and servitude for those caught in the wordless state of beasts, and thus I brought them joy. Those beings born in places of war, I protected them from strife and brought them joy. I was a truce from endless conflict for the demigods, and was thus their joy. The jealous gods I guarded from their bitter fall, and I was thus their joy. I shielded all from everything that tortured them, and was their every joy. Joy is an inside job that we bring outside. And no matter how many times I forget this, I am so grateful that the Dharma finds a way to bring me back every time. It's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new day. Let's have it. 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hum for joy. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for all our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechen Yeshe Wangmo. What? I just thought about her birthday and then it totally went out of my mind. Long life prayer for Lama Dechen Yeshe Wangmo. May the... Nope. Oh, this is so ridiculous. This is like my favorite prayer for her. Well, I'm going to have to come back to it and say it again. Wait, hang on. We have it. I have it right here. I guess this is a really good opportunity for me to be called to mindfulness of exactly what this prayer is saying. Oh, there it is. Now I have it. Om Swasti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, Yeshe Tsogyal, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of supreme bliss, Yeshe Wangmo, be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit of this practice. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin in our hearts. Namo Guanxi and Pusa. And we close with a bow to Guanyin, bow to one another, and bow to the inner teacher. And thank you for being patient with me as I had to go look up that prayer. And we will be back tomorrow. And don't forget to send me your counts. Bye.